Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the third Friday of the month. That means it is Extension Office Friday and it is August, which means we are going to be talking today about the Shenandoah County 4-H FFA Livestock Show and Sale. We have the kids on, Carol, every single year talking about all the hard work that they put into showing these animals, getting them ready for the sale. And we've got some newbies that you've invited to be with us today.
We do. We have Maggie Eaton, who's a returning participant, and we have Brant Kibler and Riley Smith, who are new to the interview this year.
So, Maggie, I'm going to start with you. You are also a 4-H program assistant in the office with Carol this summer, which sounds really cool. And then the flip side of that is this is your last year of 4-H eligibility to show an animal. So you got a lot going on this year.
Yeah, I definitely do. I asked Carol if I could be her intern because it is my last year showing, but I just wanted to continue being involved with 4-H and FFA and the fair. I just love it so much. And this year I just wanted to be a part of learning the behind the scenes of how everything runs.
One of the things that I have learned from having the conversation with all of you over the years is that just because it's the last year that you can show an animal doesn't mean it's the last year that you can be involved or participate in some way. So you do get to stick around.
Yeah, that's right. I'll definitely still come to the fair and see what all my friends are showing and see the younger generations coming up, helping with the shows and the sale any way I can. And then I'll probably still be showing open dairy, sticking around, even if I'm not in 4-H or FFA, because I just love it so much.
So remind me again, are you done with school? Are you off to college? Where are you education wise?
So this year I will be a sophomore at Washington and Lee University.
I thought you were already gone to college.
Yes,
What's your major there?
music education.
Oh, wow. That's a whole lot different than dairy cow.
Definitely. I know a lot of people expected me to be doing agriculture something, but no, I love music.
Well, it was kind of a giveaway when you said Washington and Lee and not Virginia Tech. So
Right.
I knew it wasn't directly related, but it just shows everyone what a well rounded individual you are. That's what we're going to say.
Exactly.
So joining us today as well is Brant Kibler. Brant is going to show steer and lamb. He is a 4-H FFA Livestock Show and Sale youth representative. And Brant, we were talking for just a minute before we started recording. Today was your first day at high school, so you've had pretty much of a banner day today.
Yeah.
Was it a good day?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So steer and lamb is what I have on your list. Have you been doing both of those for a long time?
So I've been doing lamb since I started showing back in 2020, but this is only the second year with steer.
Those
So
are two dramatically different animals, not only to take care of and to raise, but also to show in the arena.
yeah, I like the lambs a little bit better, but cattle are fun too.
I would assume that the lambs are a little easier to manage.
Yeah, they're a little bit easier to clean as well.
So, what goes into raising a lamb? What do you have to do on a regular basis?
We'll wrap their legs and we'll treadmill them and put them on the walker, feed them and clean out their water, make sure it's clean.
How old are they typically when you get them?
So we raise our own lambs. Most of the lambs that we have are born in January, and then we'll keep them till then and then sell them at the county fair.
So, I imagine having them since birth makes it a little bit easier for you to develop that relationship. Do they listen to you any better?
Yeah, they're pretty friendly.
What about steers? Because they're not small like
No.
lambs.
We don't raise our steers, we buy our steers. We get the steers pretty early.
Is it different having a steer? Because you've obviously got the show part of it, but then you have the sale part. So you want to make sure that it's been eating healthy, that it has a good weight. Lambs, that's not really what people are looking for, is it?
You want to make sure your lambs are the right weight because it'll be more competitive if you have a heavyweight lamb versus a lightweight lamb. But yeah, you want to make sure your steer isn't like underfed and skinny.
Yeah, nobody wants a skinny steer.
So,
You haven't been doing the steer for as long as you have been the lambs?
no, so I've only been showing steers for 2 years. I did pigs for a couple years. My brother, he's into the steers. He talked me into getting a steer this year again.
Have you liked it? Do you think you'll do it again next year?
I don't think I'll do it again next year, but I did like it. It's a little bit expensive.
Will you go back to pigs at some point?
I would like to go back to pigs, yeah, probably will.
They seem complicated.
Yeah, I feel like they're more fun to show. because you don't have to worry about racing or anything. But yeah, I like the pigs.
What kinds of things do you have to do to get ready for the livestock show and sale? Do you have to find people that are going to come that day and bid on your animal?
Yeah, we'll send out buyer's letters or we'll take them to the buyers and drop them off.
Do you sell the lamb as well, or does it get to come back home with you and turn into a full-grown sheep?
So the market lambs, we'll sell them just like the market steers. But if we bring any ewe lambs, we'll take them home for next year's breeding season.
Have you already decided what you're going to do with the money that you make from the sale? Is it going to be to buy a steer next year or buy more
Yeah.
pigs next year?
Yeah, any money I make from the lambs and steers, it goes back into my bank account to buy livestock for next year. But the end goal is money for college tuition.
So, Riley, you are doing dairy this year and you actually
Yes.
own your animal. Carol was telling me earlier that you own your animal. Is that unusual for kids that are showing in this sale to own their dairy animals?
Yes, because it's a lot of work to go out pretty much every day to milk a cow. So a lot of people will just pay someone to watch over their cows. It's just easier. You can go there once or twice a week to go work with them. And you have to pay a little bit, but yeah.
And then you also have pigs. We've talked a lot about pigs in years past, and I just can't wrap my head around having, I look at them as pets, and everyone has told me to stop doing that because
Yeah.
that's part of the problem. But what do you have to do to raise a pig in order to take it to the sale?
I'll put a bag of feed in their little feeder every day, and then you have to clean out their pen. You have to make sure they have all their shots.
Do you want them to get to a certain weight as well?
Yes. So right now I want mine to be in the 200s. That's what I'm aiming for.
That's a big pig.
Yeah.
How does it work when you show them? Do you have to walk them around the arena?
Yeah, you walk them with it's not really a whip. You just use it to guide them, but it's called a pig whip. And you just hit them on the side of their face pretty much, and that's where they know to go.
What do they look for when they're judging dairy?
They look for top line mainly, and then if it's a dairy cow, they like a nice udder. But if it's a heifer, they mainly look for just top line and the legs.
Can you tell we've not talked much about dairy cows in previous shows because I had no idea that you actually show them as an animal and not just using them for the product that they produce. How large is your dairy cow?
She's pretty big. She's almost full grown, so she's pretty big.
And then will you sell her at the sale as well, or does she come back home with you?
She comes back home. All dairy animals don't get sold. They come right back home.
Let's take a break. When we come back, Carol, can we talk a little bit about the logistics of the show, how it works, and how people can come that day to bid on some of these animals that the kids have? Can we do that in the next segment?
I'll be glad to talk about that.
We are on the Zooms for Extension Office Friday. Today is our Shenandoah County 4-H FFA Livestock Show and Sale Show. Boy, that's a mouthful. I should have rethought that before I started talking. We are talking with Carol Nansel. She manages the Shenandoah County 4-H program for Shenandoah County Extension. Maggie Eaton is joining us along with Riley Smith and Brant Kibler. We're going to come back and talk more with all of them in just a couple of minutes. In just one day, you can help shape a stronger, more connected community. On September 19th, United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley will lead Day of Caring, the region's largest single-day volunteer event. Over 900 volunteers will roll up their sleeves to help local nonprofits with projects that matter. Painting classrooms, repairing shelters, planting gardens, organizing food pantries. Whether you're a business looking to sponsor, a nonprofit in need of an extra set of hands, or a neighbor ready to serve, there's a place for you on Day of Caring. This is what community looks like when we come together. This is care in action. Learn how to get involved at unitedwaynsv.org/dayofcaring or email dayofcaring@unitedwaynsv.org. One day, hundreds of hands, lasting impact. Join us. Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Extension Office Friday as you're listening on the show today. It's late on a Tuesday afternoon, though, as we're recording. Carol Nansel is joining me on the Zooms. She manages the 4-H program for Shenandoah County Extension. Every August, she gathers up some of her 4-Hers, and we talk about the Shenandoah County 4-H FFA Livestock Show and Sale. Today, we are talking with Maggie Eaton. Maggie is a 4-H program assistant in Carol's office this summer as she's home from college. She's also in her last year of 4-H eligibility for showing livestock. Riley Smith is joining us. She owns her own dairy cow, which I learned in the last segment they actually show as well, and she gets to take it home with her when she's done. And she shows pigs as well. She is a show and sale youth representative. Brant Kibler is joining us. He has done lambs for several years, doing steer as well this year. Brent, when we were talking earlier, I asked you how it is that you try to get people to buy your animal. And you mentioned that you send buyer's letters out to people. I'm guessing you have a list of people that have said they would support you when your animal goes to sale. Do you have the same people that come and buy your animal year after year, or is it sometimes different people?
Typically, it's different people.
Because I would want to make the buyer from the previous year my best friend. So they come back year after year after year, make it a little easier on you. You were telling me during the break you've been showing animals for 5 years or so?
I showed in the open show before that, but yeah, I've been showing through 4-H for 5 years.
Riley, what kinds of things do you have to do to train? Particularly the pigs. Do you have to practice with them? Do you have a setup there where you walk and do the things that you're going to have to do in the arena that day? How do you practice?
So mainly how I train them is they normally love marshmallows. So how I get them to walk is I'll lay out marshmallows, and pretty much that I'll start with using 2 pig whips, and then I'll try to at least get them walking, and then with the marshmallows. And then I like to try to walk them through a gate so then they're calm going through the show gate.
Brant, what kinds of things do you have to do to practice with, in particular, the lamb? Because being younger, I would guess they might be a little more difficult to get to follow direction.
So we'll start by halter breaking them and just try and walk them around. Once we get them halter broke, we'll start walking them by hand and then trying to get them to like brace, because the judge will come up and handle your sheep. They'll run their hand across the top line to check for muscle. So you want to get a hard brace so it looks like your lamb is really muscular. And then you want to get the legs set square so it'll brace good.
I have this picture in my head that it's very much like the dog show that we watch in February, but it's just different animals, but they still have to stand straight. They still have to feel a certain way. I know that the judges there do the same thing. They run their hand over the dog. They check their tail, things like that. Have you ever been nervous? Are you nervous when they're out in the arena getting judged?
Yeah, sometimes we'll get a little bit nervous. Sometimes we'll also ask you questions like how much does your lamb weigh, or like how much do you feed him, or something like that.
Maggie, you also do something with the lease program for dairy. Explain to me what that is.
Yeah, so we started it maybe 3, 4 years ago. It's run by Tammy Stiles at her farm, and she allows any kids who want to show dairy to use her dairy cows. It's mostly useful for kids who don't have access, like maybe they live in a townhouse or an apartment and they can't keep a dairy cow or any animal at all at their house. So they can come to the farm a couple of times a week and practice with one of her cows, and she'll bring it to the fair for them, and they take care of it. They feed it at the fair and treat it as their own at the fair, and then it goes back to her farm. And because it's a dairy animal, I personally think it's a really good way for kids to get introduced to showing as a whole, because they don't have to sell the animal. Maybe they can get into market animals later, but it's just a good starting point for them.
Carol, it's a really good example of what we talk about a lot when we do this show and we're talking about 4-H, is that you don't have to live on a farm and have these animals yourself. Obviously, you can be like Brant and have lambs that are being born on your farm that ultimately go into the show and sale, but you can be someone who lives in the middle of Strasburg and still be able to participate in 4-H in this way.
Yes, it's a great opportunity. And again, 4-H, we have so many different types of projects. They don't actually have to have livestock in order to be in 4-H. But for those kids who want to learn about agriculture and livestock, this is a great opportunity for them.
Riley, do you have any advice for someone who might be listening today and they're thinking, this is something I thought that I wanted to do, but I'm just not sure? What would you tell them? Should they do it?
I would do it because you would rather do it and not regret it than not do it and then regret it.
Brent, is it hard? Does it take a lot of time and a lot of work? Is it something that would be easy for somebody for the very first time to be able to manage and do on their own?
I feel like pretty much all species are very time consuming and you're gonna have to put a lot of work into it, but I feel like it's very worth it.
Carol, when is the show and sale this year? I know it always happens at the Shenandoah County Fair, so give me the details for that.
Sure. We will be bringing our animals in on Saturday, August the 23rd, getting them weighed in and set up and ready to go for the week. Sunday, we have a couple of meetings and everybody's just getting the lay of the land. We do have an old timer skillathon, 4-H and FFA and old timers, so anybody, youth or adults, can participate. And it's just a fun identifying feeds and equipment and breeds and things. And it's people can just drop in and participate in that. That's open to anybody. So that's Sunday. Monday, we'll really get into the shows on Monday with our sheep show. That starts at 8 o'clock in the morning in the Sharon Lilly Show Arena. Tuesday is our beef show. That again also starts at 8 o'clock in the morning in the Sharon Lilly Show Arena. Wednesday, we start with our swine showmanship, market and breeding show at 8. And then at the conclusion of that, which is normally around 10 o'clock, sometimes it's a little later, we bring in the goats and we have our goat show after that. Thursday will be our dairy show, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, also the Sharon Lilly Show Arena. Friday, we have some fun stuff. We do the Ag Olympics. Kids can participate in that, just some fun things. The Fair Association has a pretty animal contest, and a lot of our members will participate in that, dress their animals up. And then the culmination of our week happens on Saturday at 3 o'clock with the 4-H and FFA livestock sale. Our sale order for this year, and we rotate the order each year, but this year we will sell the goats first, followed by the gallon of milk, the beef, the lambs, and the hogs.
That's where I got the milk idea from. Thank you very much, Maggie Eaton. It's because you do a gallon of milk at the sale. That's what was in my brain.
Yeah, but it's actually not actual milk. It's hypothetical milk.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that.
It's a scholarship fund. The winner of the dairy showmanship brings a cow into the sale ring, and bidders will bid on a gallon of milk, but it's actually a scholarship fund, so we'll get maybe $10,000 for it or more.
Carol, that's important.
Yeah, it is. And they get a one-of-a-kind crock that one of our local potters makes specifically for that event. We can't actually sell raw milk, so they won't go home with milk, but they'll go home with a beautiful crock made by Carrie Hahn.
My absolute favorite potter. I did not know she made the crocks for those. I'm going to have to give her grief for not telling me.
She does.
That's why it's so important when we talked earlier, Carol, with Brant about getting buyers. Like Brant said, this money goes back into a pot that helps him get another animal the next year, that helps him put money away for college. This is really important in the grand cycle of life for these kids as they move through their livestock career.
Sure, not only that, but they're learning a lot of life skills in managing these projects. As Brant said, you have to manage your time. It takes a lot of time to do this. You have to manage your finances. You learn about banking. You learn about paying for things, writing checks, paying invoices, all kinds of things. You have to learn how to take care of an animal, notice if it's sick. When is the time to call your vet? You have to interact with buyers, with other people who are raising animals as well. So there's lots of life skills that go into this.
Are you seeing an increase in the number of kids that are participating in 4-H and that are exhibiting at these shows?
We do increase each year. This year we have 155 exhibitors who are members of both 4-H and FFA, and some are members of both. Brand new exhibitors, we have 23 brand new. This is their first time ever showing an animal at the fair.
That is really cool. That kind of gives you hope for the future, doesn't it?
It does, because each year we graduate some out, just like Maggie, but we're replacing them with some new folks.
Brant, have you decided yet what you want to do after high school? Do you want to stay in the agricultural field?
Not really sure yet. I would like to have a small flock of sheep, but I'm not really sure what I would like to do with agriculture.
How about you, Riley? Do you have any idea what you want to do yet?
I want to be an ultrasound tech at a hospital, but I want to have my own little dairy farm at my house. Not a big dairy farm, just a few cows.
So, Carol, where can people go get more information? Sign up to be a bidder. Do they have to do it on site there that day, or can they do it ahead of time or over the phone?
We have several different options. Most everybody comes to the fair. And I would advise if you want to come and sign in at the fair, come earlier than 3 o'clock because there's usually a bit of a line. We do our best to move people through, but come early. You can call our office, 540-459-6140, and we can mail you a buyer invitation letter, which comes with 2 passes to get in. We also can take bids over the phone. So if we do have information, we can send the person, we can send them the sale order the day before when we have it ready so they can see what is available. And then our bidder will be on site and we'll call them shortly before the animals or the species that they're interested in are going in the ring and stay on the phone with them and bid for them. And we do have a form that's an online form that we ask people to fill out just so we know if they're interested in a particular animal or if they just want to buy a pig or they want to buy Riley's pig or whatever it is. And then we will work with them to make sure that they can bid on what they're interested in. So we usually have 1 or 2 people take advantage of that every year, maybe because they're on vacation or they just can't possibly be there. But most people like to come and see all their friends and participate in the sale. We will be doing a Facebook Live at the sale and people can watch it.
And don't you have partnerships with the local processing places so that I don't even necessarily have to worry about how I'm going to get this pig processed or any of that sort of thing? You've got people there that can take care of that?
We do. The local slaughterhouses will have trucks on site and they will load the animals out for processing at the end of the sale that night so that you don't have to make those arrangements. If you use one of the locals, that would be Crable's in Toms Brook or Coors Processing, Fultz Division, which is in Edinburgh, or Stevens City. They also will have trucks there. Butcher Block in West Virginia and Lost River, they have joined us in doing this, and so they will have a truck there as well. People are free to send the animals anywhere they like. These are just the ones that we know will have trucks there and can load out after the sale. And sometimes people want to bring the animal home themselves. So they just tell us that they will be picking up an animal. Maybe it's a ewe lamb that they want to take home and use in their breeding program. So they just tell us it's not for processing, that they will be picking it up after the sale.
You really do check every box. No matter what your goal is as a buyer, you pretty much can cover what people need.
We do. And another option that we offer is that if people want to just use this as advertising and buy an animal, but they really have no use for the animal, they can sell it back to what we call the floor, which is market price. And we have people who will purchase a floor bid. Usually they're bigger processors. And so at the end of the night, then anybody who maybe bought lambs who don't want to take them home, they can sell them back at market price. And then the floor buyer for the lambs will pick up a whole load of sheep and take them for further processing.
A lot of people probably don't even realize that's where a lot of the things that you see, like when you're at Gore's or you're at Crable's, in their freezers and in their coolers, a lot of those animals have come from doing just that. So it's still local. It's one of the reasons why you should stay local wherever you can.
It is. And the local processors, I know if you're trying to get animals processed around this area, sometimes you have to wait a while. But because they have worked with us so many years, they hold time in their schedule for the week after the fair to do the processing for the animals that go through our fair. So that's priceless to have people who will work with you on that.
Riley, I wish you all the luck in showing your pigs and your dairy this year. I hope you take the blue ribbon. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, thank you.
And Brant, I hope you do really well this year. And now that you've done the show before, you're going to have to come back year after year. You need to practice your radio skills.
Okay. That's probably something I should work on.
And Maggie, you can still come back even if you're not showing livestock.
All right, I'll be here if you ask me.
You can come and play music for us next year.
All right.
Carol, I hope you have an outstanding turnout for this. I know it's something fun that we talk about every single year, and I love to hear afterwards that people say, oh, I went to that because I wanted to see what this animal was that this 4-H'er was talking about. So I'm glad that we're able to spread the word a little bit.
Thank you, Janet, for helping us, and thank you for having us on.
I will be back on Monday with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after noon, so meet me here then.